All right, everyone, welcome back to this weekly Sidereal Astrology forecast. So this is for August 7th through the 13th of 2017. All right, so on Monday of this week, we have that lunar eclipse. This is going to be in Capricorn. I made a video specifically for this. If you haven't yet seen that, do check that out. But that's going to be kicking off the week, and it is a high point of the cycle as well. So there could be a lot of energy coming into the week, more awareness, more momentum. But with this, it is a south node lunar eclipse. So there is energy being released at the beginning of the week. And I feel like that's really the sort of pivot point, if you will, of these surrounding weeks. Simply because with this south node, there's always something we're letting go of. Something we're releasing. Some baggage, we're letting go of. So there's always this sort of transition with these south node lunar eclipses. And we could certainly be feeling that this early part of the week. Now, I say that because of that, but also because the sun is going to be shifting into Leo around Monday. And as you can see here in the transit graph, we do have some easy aspects, some supportive aspects here coming up this week, all these blue ones. Pretty much all blue. We do have Mercury going retrograde, though, which, always does get a negative connotation. Mercury retrogrades are actually an excellent time for reworking things, reconsidering things in our life. And as long as we're not just go, go, go all the time with wherever that Mercury's retrograde, then it's good to have that, step back, reconsideration, reflect on some things, redo some things in that area. So I'll go ahead and break this all down for each of the individual signs in terms of which house this is playing out for you. But yeah, as you can see, generally this week, a lot of this supportive energy. And I feel like after that eclipse on Monday, it sort of lifts off the weight that the south node releases, and then I think supports a lot of this this energy here throughout the week. And as I said too, the sun shifting into Leo, which is his sign, all right, sun's in dignity here, really invokes the self-expression, the creativity, and that side of ourself. Not to mention too, Mars is going to actually leave Cancer, where he's debilitated later in the week around Friday, Saturday. And he's going to go into Leo as well, fire sign, which is way more comfortable for Mars to be in. So let's go and break this down. Looking at the week, I do want to preface by saying this is for Sidereal Astrology. If you don't know what that is, or if you're new to the channel, definitely check the link down in the comment section. The signs are different here. You're going to notice, a lot of the signs are different. Plus, when you do get to the individual signs, for your ascendant, moon, or sun sign, for those horoscopes, you definitely want to make sure you're watching this for the right sign, because your signs will likely be different from mainstream astrology. All right, so let's go ahead and break this down. Yeah, Monday, as I said, this releasing, I think it's about Capricorn. I think particularly what we could be releasing early in the week is any type of security blankets having to do with density. Capricorn is all about the structures we want in life. It's the stability of having solid structures and foundations. But it can also, when in an imbalance, which is what's being released, is everything unhealthy about Capricorn. But the imbalanced energies that are being released is maybe a bit of overcautiousness, a bit of over-reserve, right? A bit of too much of identification maybe with the material realm, something like that. And so as we release that collectively, as I said, it really transforms us, and it really is a sort of transition at the beginning of the week. So then the aspects, or actually, before I get into that, let's talk about the sun going into Leo, right? So right at the beginning, along with that lunar eclipse, there's a shift of focus. And it's coming from where there has been a lot of focus these past few weeks on perhaps the past, or family matters, or our soul, our emotions, our feelings, maybe our bodies with our health. I think that's still going to be emphasized to a degree with Mars here for pretty much this whole week. But that sun leaving Cancer shifts the focus, and is shifting the focus away from that more internal side of things to perhaps the more creative, playful, fun side of things, which is Leo. And when the sun's here, we can be very expressive. So it's the time of year for this, for about the next month and a half, to have a bit of fun, a bit of creative spirit, whatever that means for you personally. And that can really ignite that focus and that self-expression and whatever else we might be intent on focusing on at this time. All right, so that's around the Monday time period. Then as we get to about midweek here around Wednesday, Thursday, we start to come into some of these easy aspects. Now the ones midweek here are more like opportunities to have a bit of ease. These are sextiles. They're sort of gateways. We're not really thrusted into the support with them, but they're just sort of experiences in our life presenting us with an opportunity to have some ease. And the ease here with Mercury sextiling up to Venus and on this side of it could be maybe enjoying some communication, maybe sharing with others in our life, in our relationships, maybe learning from others, or maybe just learning in general can be very enjoyable. Because Mercury is in Leo, it's maybe going to be invoking that creativity, even more so with the sextile, with the Sun and Mercury in Leo midweek. Okay, so it could be creative, especially if you're using your mind for creative things, whether it's projects or works or hobbies, things like that. And even a bit of mental stimulation could be enjoyable as well. So that's an opening for that, certainly synergizing the enjoyment with the mental aspects of life and the relationships with the mental aspects. But along with that, the Sun is going to be sextiling Jupiter. So this is really giving us a bit of an open mind. Along with that willingness to learn, I think we're willing to see the big picture midweek. And we could be, again, expressive because Jupiter expands whatever he contacts. In this case, the Sun. Maybe a bit adventurous. And just, I think, feeling free. Free to be ourselves, free to express ourselves. And, just an opening to do that. And again, it's invoking a lot of that creative energy as well. So that's just an opening there. We'll see which houses this is for you personally. But certainly collective. This ease with that. And I do want to mention too, your personal chart is going to determine specifically what's going on this week, but this is the collective energy. So use it. When things are easy, there are some aspects of our life that are easy in this sort of sense, and it's a good time to use it instead of maybe resting on our laurels. So as we get into the weekend, we've got now a set of more supportive energy where we feel it as more supportive. And this is the trine energy. So around Friday, Saturday, we have Venus trining up to Neptune. We could be quite easygoing in our relationships. That could come natural. Easy to enjoy things in general because Neptune just helps us be more present in our life. And with Venus, it's all about the enjoyments and the relationships. So we're quite present there. And just easy to connect with whatever it is we're connecting to or whoever we're connecting to. All right, and even too, there's a romantic energy with this as well. If you're in a relationship or something like that, there could be a bit of romance because there's really an unconditionality that comes into effect with Neptune. Because we're more willing to go with the flow, we're more accepting of others. We're more present. We're more unconditional. And so it could be a very beautiful energy with that. Also, too, imagination. Venus is about creativity as well. And Neptune is about imagination. So we could be, really tapping into that imaginative, creative side of ourselves. And dreamy as well, right? So really good for unlocking a bit of imagination and seeing what might come about from that. But simply enjoying it, perhaps. All right, and then around Saturday here, this is where Mercury goes station. He's going to slow down. This is in Leo. So there is this now reflection on what it is we actually do find fun and enjoyable and entertaining. And or if it's more about your self-expression, re-examining, what it is you're passionate about and re-examining your self-expression, right? The way you express yourself or what you connect to express yourself, because it's through connecting to that inner flame, that inner fire, and even our feelings, because this is all the bottom of the chart still, not like Cancer, but in terms of that heart and expressing that and maybe learning more about our own personal self-expression. So for about the next few weeks, it's good to reconsider all of this creative energy in your life, self-expression, what we enjoy, what's close to our hearts, and we'll be learning a lot about this. So we'll likely feel like this shift here around Saturday is sort of slowing things down here for a time of reconsideration here. And I think just aligning with that being willing to, pause the mind for a second, notice that things are shifting in this area, could help us align with that retrograde. All right, and this is also the time Mars does leave Cancer, though. Goes into Leo around Saturday, so there can be this easing off of this more internal energy. Again, Mars is debilitated in Cancer, so it is usually quite uncomfortable for this past and inner emotion and soul connection and all this when Mars is here. So it eases up off of that and goes into an area which is much more comfortable for Mars, Leo, which really unlocks even more of that self-expression, more of that creativity, but particularly in that direct way, where we can be more assertive with our expression. We can be more driven towards having fun or hobbies, interests, things like this, right? Invoking, again, that inner flame, but with the intention of doing it and with the drive and energy to do it as well. And in general, too, when Mars comes out of watery Cancer, we do usually feel a bit of a boost of energy simply because Mars was sort of repressed here, cooled off. The water of Cancer really cooled off that fiery Mars collectively. So give it some time, of course. He's a very slow-moving planet relative to these others. So it takes him some time to actually shift within constellations. So maybe going into next week, noticing some of that. All right, and then the last thing, which is again a supportive thing this week with the trine, the Sun trine Saturn, which is really good because we have all this fiery energy. And here Saturn grounds things. So even though there's that fire, passion, whatever it is, and we're reconsidering it with Mercury around this time, there's stability here. And I think we could be quite stable, quite grounded, quite responsible here around Sunday, yet expressive, right? So it's got a nice synergy here between fire and earth on Sunday. Really good for productive things or anything else that does require a bit of patience or responsibility. All right, so that's the week in a nutshell. I think the pivot point, as I said, is Monday, the shift of releasing and even the days surrounding it. It's very deep with the South Node, some sort of past life baggage, yearnings, attachments that we're releasing, which then frees us up to continue to move along the life journey. And here, depending on when you're watching this, about a couple weeks or a week, we're going to have a solar eclipse in Leo, which is really what this week is setting the foundation for. With all these planets moving into Leo, all these aspects to planets in Leo, it's setting a foundation for a new beginning quite soon involving this self-expression. And it will likely be a lot of what we're reconsidering with that Mercury retrograde. It'll be a lot likely involving this shift with the Sun going into Leo early this week, right, with a shift of focus into this fiery side to life. And so, yeah, a good week in general to, do some things, maybe get out there, express yourself, have some fun. And that should sort of lay a foundation for this much more larger new beginning with these things around the corner. All right, so let's go and look at this individually for each of the signs. There is timestamps down in the comment section. You can go directly to your signs portion of this video. As I said, I do recommend watching this for your sun, moon, and ascendant sign to get a more holistic picture since this is a general reading. But yeah, go ahead and click your sign, and I'll see you on the other side. All right, Aries, welcome to your weekly forecast. So let's go ahead and break this down one by one as we go through the week, the days of the week here. So coming into it is that lunar eclipse, and this is in your 10th house of career, of your achievements and successes in life. So it's a great time to do a status check early in the week in this area, specifically in terms of if there is anything you might be holding on to attached in this area, like a security blanket, that as you let go, it can free you up, it can liberate you. And listen to your inner guidance. This astrology is just meant to confirm that. But if there is something on that level, your inner guidance is saying to release, I think it's good to do that internally. And then as it happens internally, the outer stuff just happens more naturally. Now, this early part of the week, the sun shifts into your 5th, which just like in the general is the area of self-expression and creativity. So I think that's going to be really the focus for the next month and a half, is on your self-expression. For some of you, it might be spending time with your kids. That's 5th house. Others, it might be romance. That's also 5th. Some of you, creative projects, including things like entrepreneurship and anything you create. For others, it could be more of like your hobbies, things you find fun, enjoyable, that kind of thing. So whatever it is, it's fundamentally about your self-expression and tapping into that creative energy there. So you'll likely notice this shift early in the week, and that's going to be laying the foundation for the solar eclipse here in a couple weeks in that 5th house. Now, some of these other aspects around here, Wednesday, Thursday, Mercury sextile Venus, Sun sextile Jupiter. So there's a lot of positive support coming into this part of the chart, which is nice. This is a Venus that's been in your 3rd house. So as I was saying in the general, you could certainly, your sign, enjoy a bit of communication right now. Maybe some of you are picking up that book, doing some learning, or maybe sharing, doing some writing. All of this stuff is the area to enjoy and to see the value with. And I think a lot of you are seeing the value with this more synergistic side to life. So with Venus sextiling Mercury here, yeah, it could be invoking that along with the self-expression. And with the Sun sextile Jupiter, even more of that expansion of that self-expression in whichever way you're focused on there or implementing it. But this is involving the Jupiter that's been in your 6th. So there could be some expansion perhaps taking place, or an opportunity with your work or your daily routine, or personal growth and personal development, diet perhaps, these types of things, which is about development and improvement. And so that's another area that's expanding for you here about midweek. Now, Friday, Saturday, Venus trines up to Neptune, which is a more supportive type of energy. And so you could be feeling perhaps specifically in your relationships, not only communicative and willing to share ideas and learn and stuff, but quite easygoing, right? Could even be with your friends perhaps. Neptune's been in your 11th house for some of you, friends. Others maybe just very more accepting at this time about the future in general. And so all of this more receptive energy is very much supporting your relationships, supporting what you're enjoying at this time, and possibly even too, some of you financial material stuff could be flowing around that time as well. Now the Mercury retrograde is going to be in that 5th house, so it'll be a good time now to re-examine that self-expression and the things that are close to your heart. So whatever that means for you personally, allowing this sort of shift around Saturday to then understand that for the next few weeks, it's good to have a plan A, B, C, and D, to be flexible with this area, be adaptive, because likely you're going to be learning a lot at this time. New information is going to be coming to light at this time. And so you want to sort of set things up in your life to allow for, that flexibility for things to change. And just all in all, treating it as, a learning process. What can you continue to learn about your self-expression and that type of stuff? Now, Mars, your ruler, is going to be shifting out of Cancer. So I think the shift for you, along with early in the week, there'll be another shift, which will be your ruler coming out of debilitation, coming out of Cancer, not the comfortable place for Mars. And so there could certainly be this easing off of this more, perhaps some of you, lowered energy. Now, mind you, Mars is still at the bottom of the chart, so it takes months for him to get to the top of the chart. But on some level, likely this easing off of more of this internal stuff, for those of you who've been feeling it. Now, it's been a great time, and it still is this week, for most of it here, this up until Saturday, to put energy into home, family, health, right? These types of more internal matters. But over the weekend, you're likely going to feel the shift going into the energy behind the self-expression. More of the directness, the drive, more intentfulness, right? And so it's a continuous shift into the 5th, but I think you'll likely notice probably more so the easing off of more of the watery energy that you're feeling for the week up until about Saturday. All right, and then the week tops off with the Sun trine Saturn. You have some supportive energy here from Saturn into the 5th, grounding that self-expression. And also, too, perhaps helping you connect to the deeper aspects of life in good ways. Maybe you're quite vulnerable with your self-expression, quite deep there. Just really connecting to what matters most in life. And that can be a very grounding force for you. All right, Aries, I hope you have a fantastic week. I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, please like, comment, and share this with your friends and family. Help get the word out about Sidereal Astrology using the actual size of the constellations here. But Aries, have a great week, and I will see you very soon for the next daily forecast. Take care. Taurus, welcome to your weekly forecast. So let's break this down one day at a time here for this week. A lot going on. A lot going on with your ruler Venus, you could say, with the Mercury sextile, Venus trine Neptune. So let's look at your ruler Venus. She's in your 2nd house. We'll be there all week. So I think there's a lot to enjoy, or at least connect to, or maybe do some work with involving finances, enjoying the simple aspects of life, where you can really connect to abundance and enjoying abundance, but also at the same time attracting it to you. And again, putting your energy into this area. So it all starts within, right? So connecting to your resourcefulness, which is natural for you, Taurus. Taurus is anyways, right? It's representative. This 2nd house is representative of your sign. And so connecting to that inner resourcefulness and again, putting energy into anything that you do want to increase in your life. That might be material or abundance or values. And I think a lot of you are learning a lot about what you value and stuff like that. So that's really the foundation to a lot of this week, as it was last week. And, then you got some supportive aspects with that. But let's talk about this lunar eclipse at the beginning of the week, which is in your 9th house. So it's a transition for all of us. And this could be a transition away from if you're feeling any security blankets involving 9th house matters. And this can be anything from travel, long distance matters, philosophies, higher learning, university, and fundamentally your perspective. So there's absolutely nothing wrong with having open horizons and seeing possibilities and potentials. In fact, that's the healthy way of working with the 9th. But sometimes we can't take that to an over extreme or sometimes an under extreme. So if you do become aware of early this week that there might be some security blankets with your beliefs, with optimism, with some of the stuff relating to the 9th house, then it's good to be aware of that and do that internal releasing if you're guided to. And through that, it liberates you, it frees you up, and then we're sort of continuing along the journey, and the external things just kind of happen more naturally. So certainly a deep time, an internal time for all of us, and for you involving that house. But also this early part of the week, the sun does shift into your 4th, where I think you've already been thinking with Mercury here. This is matters relating to home, relating to family, to perhaps your health. And there's going to be a lot to learn about all of this with all these planets shifting into here. Mercury's going to go retrograde in this house later on Saturday of this week. And this is the area of new beginnings, a solar eclipse in your 4th house here in a couple weeks. So it's setting the foundation for that, and I think you'll notice that shift here going into 4th house matters with the sun, and anything you can do to sort of lay the foundation and be flexible with this area, again, because of all the retrogrades and all this, but be flexible with this area, learn about it, maybe, but see what you enjoy about it, get some of that fire, that vigor that the sun brings through home, family, or your health. And I think you'll find that's a great way of unlocking that sun energy. Your energy levels might be at a bit of a low, around this time period, but again, they're channeled into these more personal things in life and these roots in your life. Now, let's talk about Wednesday, Thursday, when Mercury sextiles your ruler Venus from the 4th. There could be a bit of an opening. It could, again, have to do with the financial area, maybe involving the home area. But generally, it's about you, and I think you'll be quite open-minded at this time. Maybe you'll be learning some new things. Things involving Mercury will tend to flow quite nicely with this placement, and Venus and Gemini. So communication, learning, that type of stuff, mental stimulation. And along with that day, the sun does sextile up to Jupiter. So there is this open-mindedness anyways collectively. And this is involving your self-expression. The 5th house where Jupiter's been. This is the area that's been expanding for you. So a really good time to have some fun, get out there, express yourself, create, and I think it's just a great week for that. And again, I think you'll find that a good supportive energy to some of those other areas that I mentioned. Now, Venus is trining up to Neptune Friday, Saturday. So I think you're particularly going to be quite easygoing here coming into the weekend. Really good for anything that does require imagination, that type of creativity, easy to connect in general, but you're just really connecting to that present moment, or at least it's very easy to do so. And this could have to do with the career for you, because this has been an area that's been muddy for you, uncertain, all right, for the past perhaps many years with Neptune here in the 10th. But now, coming into the week, I think you're just more willing to go with the flow with the career area and just in general. So could be some ideas, could be just this more easygoingness, which really does support your life in general there. So Saturday, we do have this retrograde of Mercury in the 4th. Now it's time for the next few weeks to reconsider some of the stuff involving home, family, or health. All right, so pause perhaps Friday, Saturday as Mercury slows down, understanding that this is now an area of reconsideration. And the more willing you are to do that, it really aligns you to this, and you're going to be learning a lot about home, family, health throughout this time. You're going to be perhaps redoing some things in this area. And as long as you're flexible with it, have a plan A, B, C, and D during the retrograde, I think you'll find that it helps you adapt to the new information that comes to light during these periods. Now, Mars is shifting into the 4th too, so I think your drive and energy still this week will likely be on communication and learning. Mars in the 3rd house is saying that there's this energy behind learning and communication or expressing yourself. And I think that's still going to be there with your ruler in Gemini, but Mars goes into the 4th. So the drive this weekend and into next week will likely be going into this, again, personal area. Home, family, and health are some common examples of the 4th. And so anything you can do to, put energy into that area. And a really good thing with Mars in the 4th is like working out and stuff, connecting to your body through physical exercise, things like this, if you're guided to. But yeah, anything you can channel into the personal stuff, any energy, any drive, any motivation really helps that Mars unlock. Because again, Mars isn't so comfortable at the bottom of the chart. That could be some of the low energy for some of you that are experiencing that. But it's so that you can connect to your soul here, to your feelings, to your roots. Now, the week ends with the sun trining up to Saturn, so there is this stability here. There's just so many easy aspects. It's supporting a lot of this part of the chart for you, and this is further evidence of that here around Sunday, some stability with home, family, or health, and with the way you're perhaps expressing yourself, as it will be collectively. And it's really because perhaps some of you have been doing a lot of work with relationships, or this area has been limiting for you these past couple of years, or you've been more patient with it, hopefully, really just wanting to take more seriously relationships. So it's a good, stable time for relationships this weekend, a good expressive time, and again, really good for connecting to those feelings, the personal side to your life, and anything else 4th house. All right, so Taurus, have a fantastic week. I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, please like, comment, and share it with your friends and family. And I'll see you very soon for the next daily forecast. Take care. All right, Geminis, welcome to your weekly forecast. So let's talk about this solar eclipse, or excuse me, lunar eclipse coming into the week. This is in your 8th house. So I think coming into the week, there is this depth, this releasing of bonds and chains and things that have been holding you back or down. This is what the 8th house symbolizes, is basically all of the things that we can break free from. And so this can be, and I think fundamentally is, on an emotional level, having to do with connecting with your deep unconscious to see if there's any fears or inhibitions or traumas or something that have been holding you back. And as you become more aware of them and accept them, it's very liberating. And that's very much what the South Node helps you do. Now, the South Node's actually very comfortable here because it's about the same thing. The 8th house is about transformation, and so is that South Node. So, this gives you a lot of support to do this. And I think there will be this shift early in the week of letting some baggage go, something that's deep. And it's nothing we have to force or push away. It's just, I think, going to happen naturally as you bring that conscious light, that sun bouncing off of the moon energy with this eclipse, right? And then the earth eclipsing the moon, allowing it to go within, allowing us to go within here to connect to what matters most and to our inner beingness and become more aware of what is holding us back. So with that awareness, it is about releasing, letting go of some things that are no longer serving us. And through that, I think you'll find this to be a very transformational lunar eclipse, especially for your sign, because it is in that 8th house of transformation. So early in the week, we do have the sun shifting into your 3rd house, which is already where your ruler's been, Mercury. And so it's already been emphasizing these past couple weeks at least, learning, getting into the practical side of life. Maybe some of you are doing some more writing lately or reading. And some of you too, communicating, maybe getting into like trade, that type of thing. So the sun's going to give you more fuel with this. And this is the area of new beginnings here in a couple weeks with the solar eclipse. And so all the stuff that you're starting to shift your focus on here with this area could certainly lay the foundation for those new beginnings. So early in the week, that shift there, you could find that there's more focus on this more practical stuff in your life, and that could invigorate you, give you more energy and drive involving that area. Now, here around midweek, Wednesday, Thursday, your ruler will be sextiling Venus, so you do get a bit of this easy energy here with Venus in your 1st house, actually. So as was the case a bit last week when Venus entered your 1st, this week is really good for feeling good, looking good, right? Maybe sprucing up that self-image, maybe connecting with some relationships, expressing yourself. Venus rules your 5th house. And then there's this also soft energy about you too, this more accepting and receptive energy, since Venus rules your 12th. But anyways, it activates that about midweek, and I think you can be enjoying some things in general with Venus sextiling your ruler. And again, it could also be emphasizing not only those areas of self and relationships and all that, but also with this stuff you might be learning or getting involved with, involving your mind and practicality of that 3rd house. This is your house. Now, at that same time, midweek, the Sun sextiles Jupiter, perhaps invoking some opportunities with home, family, or health. This has actually been the area of expansion for you. I think a lot of you have been learning a lot about these personal things in life and your roots. And so it's now some supportive energy with that. And so anything you do, like that you are presented with, an opportunity or something involving connecting to this personal side of life or home, family, or health, may come into the picture here about midweek. And it's all about how we choose to work with it. We can choose or choose not to with the sextile, but it certainly does provide some sort of opening there. All right, Friday, Saturday, Venus trines up to Neptune, and this is supporting, again, that Venus in your sign and the Neptune that's been in your ninth. So a lot of you, there might be some uncertainty about matters relating to the ninth, like travel or university studies, higher learning, or even your belief systems. You know, there's been a lot of uncertainty, but now it supports it. So I think you're more willing to go with the flow with that area, and just more willing to go with the flow in general with Venus in your sign, with the trine, right? Easygoing, receptive, imaginative, creative, and just more open, I think, to life and how life unfolds, and just seeing more of the serendipity to life, right? Now, speaking of Saturday, though, that's when your ruler starts to go retrograde. So you may start to feel this later part of the week things slowing down, as is the case about 3 times a year. Nothing out of the ordinary here, but a really good time now for the next few weeks to reconsider, rethink some things. And I think it does have to do with the 3rd house. So again, this is matters relating to your mind, communication, maybe reconsidering that. Anything you're writing, time to edit, redo, anything you've been working on involving your mind, and reading and stuff like this. So even siblings as well, and even peers, and even community as well. All of this is going through reconsideration. So give it time, allow the energy to slow down, go retrograde, and then just be as flexible and adaptive during the next few weeks in general. And I think you'll find that that helps you adapt to how things are changing, which is often the case when your ruler goes retrograde. Things are changing, new information's coming to light, and so you want to have multiple plans, or just be open to your plans changing to align with the new information or whatever the reconsideration is. Now, Mars is going into your 3rd house, so I think all week it is still a great week for putting some motivation into your resources, maybe income, investments, things like that. That's been great. But here on the weekend, you'll probably notice now more drive into this communication sector in your 3rd house, into this mental sector. So you can be very direct with your communications going into next week. Maybe very motivated to do some reading, writing, learning, even more so. And again, maybe connect to peers or community in some sense. Now, the Sun is going to be trining up to the Sun at the week's end on Sunday, topping off the week. So you do have this now supportive energy coming into the 3rd again. So this is, again, stabilizing your mind, stabilizing your perspective, helping you, and you probably are going to be willing to maybe do some of this communicative or learning stuff with your day-to-day work, or whatever you do on a day-to-day level, or some of you are gaining some information to help with that day-to-day. And to put that into perspective, if you think back to the past couple years, Saturn's been in your 6th house, helping you really structure your routine, your work, your day-to-day, your time management, energy management, all this. And even though Saturn's retrograde, and it's good to be reconsidering all this, it is still an excellent time to put in some of this work into your day-to-day. And that sort of energy is very much supporting what I think is starting to unfold for you with this more communicative side, this learning side, this more inquisitive side of yourself. And that's also going to be the area of the solar eclipse, that new beginning here in just a couple weeks. All right, so Geminis, I hope you guys have a fantastic week. I do want to thank you all very much for all of your likes, comments, and shares with these videos. If you have any questions, feel free to comment down below, or share your experiences. It's good for others to hear some different perspectives. But yeah, sending you my very best, and I'll see you very soon for the daily forecast. Take care. Cancer, welcome to your weekly forecast. So looking at this lunar eclipse at the beginning of the week, very important for your sign, involves your ruler, the moon. Your ruler is dimming, right? The earth is going to be eclipsing that solar energy. And so it's a time of going within. And that is the case with the south node as well. It's this time of going within, taking this time here around Monday to become more aware of the inner dimensions of life. And that's very natural for you, right? So, but it's that of a spiritual one. And it's that of seeing if there is any baggage, any attachments, anything we're holding on to that we can let go of. And that will free us up as a result of that. And again, this is all happening internally. So this is in your 7th house of relationships. I think there's going to be this awareness at the beginning of the week here. And again, more in terms of your unconscious, maybe some patterns you can break, some internal attachments you can release, allow to let go. And that can very much free you up. I think all of us are in this transition period at the early part of the week. And especially for your sign, I think feeling that transformation as a result. And going about some of the easier aspects, I feel like we have the rest of this week. Now, also early in the week, the sun will be leaving your sign, going into your 2nd house. In fact, the 2nd house is the one that's also very activated and will be for the coming weeks and 2 weeks, where you're going to have a new beginning with the solar eclipse in your 2nd house. So this is the house of finance. It's the house of resources. It's the house of enjoying the simple pleasures of life, being grateful for what we have, abundance. And so your focus is going to be going into this area. And I think you've already been thinking about it. Some of these resources on some level, inner resources, outer resources, your resourcefulness. Mercury's been in here. But now with the sun, that's giving you more energy, more focus on this area. And again, laying the foundation for what I think will be in a couple weeks, the new beginning involving these resources. Now, here around Wednesday, Thursday, Mercury does sextile up to Venus from the 2nd house, so there could be some opportunities perhaps relating to some of that material stuff. Fundamentally, I think you might be enjoying some learning, some practical stuff. You could be even enjoying some of this behind the scenes. You know, Venus is really helping you enjoy, so to speak, getting your alone time. Working behind the scenes, maybe getting into some spiritual activities. You could really enjoy things like meditation or stuff. If you haven't before, could be a great time to start. Or if you have meditated, you can find that it's quite fun or enjoyable with Venus in the 12th. But that type of thing, whatever helps you relax and get into that tranquil energy of life. And so you get a lot of support for that midweek with that sextile. And then also into that 2nd house from the sun sextiling Jupiter, which could be specifically involving that learning, practicality. I think there might be some opportunities here with the resources, but also too to learn. Jupiter's been expanding this area for like 9 months now, and so now there's more positive energy here to read, write, communicate, whatever it is that's on the practical side of things. Some of you business and trade, things like that. Then Friday, Saturday, Venus trines up to Neptune. So there is this, again, now more supportive energy to relax, to go with the flow, to work behind the scenes. Neptune's already about that. Trining Venus from your 12th really supports this. So I think you'll be quite easygoing, really good for spiritual activities. Neptune's been in your 8th, so matters relating to transformation, life and depth. Life and death and even depth have been perhaps uncertain for you. There's a bit of fogginess, or it's a very spiritual type of area for you. But now it supports it. And so there's an easy going with it. You're probably quite open, quite vulnerable in a good way with life, with yourself, and also with your relationships and anything else that you may feel like you want to enjoy tranquilly behind the scenes, so to speak, with that 12th. Now, Saturday is Mercury retrograde, and this is going to be in that 2nd house, so things are going to be re-examined, I feel like, for the next few weeks involving these resources. Again, on an inner level, what are your natural gifts, natural abilities? How is your self-reliance? All right, but then also externally, some of you might be redoing the budget, the investments, re-examining your savings, you know, and it's all about this learning about it. So be flexible, be adaptive with this area. Again, it's setting a foundation this week, but the more flexible you are with it, I think you're going to find that it's a great time of redoing, rehashing this area, and all the stuff you rehash about it will certainly move forward with the solar eclipse in a couple weeks, but then also when Mercury goes direct in about 3 weeks. All right, Saturday, Mars leaves your sign. So I think you've been very direct, or more so than normal, with Mars in the first, or maybe some of you feeling more motivated. So that energy is actually shifting into the resource sector this weekend. And so the drive there going into next week will certainly be on the resources. And so great weekend to unlock that perhaps. Again, you'll be learning about it with the Mercury retrograde, but you could really see that it invigorates you with the Mars there. And as you put energy into it, it sort of gets things moving for you in that area. Now, Sunday, the sun does trine up to Saturn, the last aspect of the week. And again, it's positive energy into that second house of resources. But it's coming from the Saturn in the fifth, who's been, over the past 2 years, helping you really take seriously your self-expression. So there's been this reserve of your self-expression and maybe even limitation of it or of the things you enjoy. But it's been so that you can build this area, express yourself in grounded ways and stable ways. And that's really what I think you'll be willing to do in this very easy aspect this week, just more grounded with it, with whatever it is you're expressing or creating or enjoying, and stable. And that can even also leave you feeling quite resourceful, actually, this weekend as well. All right, so Cancer, have a fantastic week. Wishing you the very best. Be sure to comment down below if you have any questions. Like this video as well. If you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe. And I'll see you very soon for the next daily forecast here on Monday. Have a good one. Take care. Leo, welcome to your weekly forecast. So it is quite the week for you. I say that because your ruler, the sun, is leaving your 12th house, going into your first house, which he's much more comfortable in the first in general, but it is, of course, your sign, which he rules, right? So sun rules Leo. So very nice here. Happy birthday for some of you who do have your birthdays this week with your sun sign. But all of you will likely start to feel perhaps a bit more of this outward energy because it has been very behind the scenes. And it still kind of is, right? With Mars still in that 12th house up until about Saturday of this week. But things are slowly shifting. And I think at the beginning with your ruler coming out of the 12th, you'll likely find that you're more focused on external things, more independent, maybe focused on your personal needs, goals, this type of stuff, more active, invigorating type of energy. Coming out of a very spiritual time, behind the scenes, deeper things going on with that 12. So that's the shift at the beginning of the week, but also from this lunar eclipse in your 6th, a lot of you will likely be letting some things go, internally at least, in terms of your perspective of maybe your work or your day-to-day activities or your health or your diet, something like that, that as you let go of, it frees you up. And that's what the lunar eclipse is doing, helping us let go of that backpack, some of these denser things with Capricorn, and then so that we can continue along the life journey. And it is a very important time for your sign. You know, you're going to have this another solar eclipse in your sign here in a couple of weeks, which is certainly going to be a new beginning with all this stuff relating to your independence and your personal needs and all of this. But of course, before that, we do have to go into the spiritual side of things. And so that's kind of what's going on early in the week. I don't think it's going to be that deep for you because, as I said, that's the same time your sun leaves the 12th. But yeah, to a degree, that lunar eclipse early in the week releasing, going within, taking the time, the space to see what is being shed here, what kind of skin is being shed to free yourself up to continue your life journey. Now, midweek, Wednesday, Thursday, Mercury is going to be sextiling Venus from your first house. So you got some positive energy again going in there. I think your mind has already been lately, these past couple weeks, on yourself, on your goals. And even though it's been behind the scenes, but you've been thinking about it. So that's continuing. You get a lot to learn, I think, at this time about yourself, goals, things like that. Could even be enjoying learning at this time, specifically midweek. There's a lot of enjoyment to be had with maybe some friends or your network circles. That's all week, but maybe around Wednesday, Thursday with Venus there. And some of you enjoying some technology, some innovative things, some progressive things, maybe the world at large, humanitarianism, all of this more progressive stuff and future-oriented stuff is just great to enjoy all week long, but maybe Wednesday, Thursday time. So yeah, that same time though, midweek, your ruler sextiles Jupiter, so you do have this bit of buoyancy about you, or at least an opening. Again, sextiles don't really automatically do anything, but you just, I don't know, if you're feeling like expressing yourself, maybe it might be involving feeling quite resourceful, quite independent, quite self-reliant. There could even be some opportunities maybe financially for you. It's possible. And so anything you do that kind of allows you to see the big picture, expand your horizons a bit, is a great way of aligning with this midweek. Now, Friday, Saturday, Venus trines up to Neptune. So again, supportive energy going into the future area, the group area, networks area. And that could be because you're quite easygoing with relationships. I think the whole relationship area has been very uncertain for the past many years. But now you have some support here where I think you're willing to go with the flow with your relationships. And even too, you might even find that there might even be a bit of some imagination about your career, some ideas about your career as well. So relationships, career, and then this friends sector, this community sector, really getting this dose of imagination, of ease, and an easiness to connect to those areas around Friday. All right, so let's talk about this Mercury retrograde on Saturday in your first house. So even though this is all setting the stage for this new beginning about you, your independence, there is this now reconsideration. So allowing yourself this time for now the next few weeks and maybe around Friday, Saturday as things slow down, just kind of pausing for a second to now reevaluate who you are and what you want. And so the more you are open to learning for the next few weeks, you're going to find that not only are you learning more because of that, but it's allowing you to be flexible and adaptive and go with the flow. So having plan A, B, C, D, always kind of seeing where you can put your energy based on the information you're getting or how things are changing. And you're going to find that there's, like I said, so much to learn about self, to learn about who you are and what you want in life. What are your desires? What are your goals? All of this is just excellent to reconsider during the retrograde. Now, Mars is going to go into your sign on Saturday. It takes time for Mars, so give it some time, but especially going into next week, all the planets will be out of your 12th, and I think you'll start to feel a bit of that directness, even more so. More motivation, perhaps. More about being direct with your self-expression, not that you haven't already been with the Sun and Mars next to each other, but just more geared towards feeling more confident with yourself, where you're headed, and that type of thing. All right, and then the week does end with your ruler trining up to Saturn here on Sunday. So you'll be quite stable, I feel like, this weekend, quite grounded, quite responsible. It could have to do with this patience that you've likely been developing involving matters relating to your home or family or your health. That's been the area that it's been very important for you to take slowly and build, take seriously. And so I think you're going to be willing to do that. And it's stabilizing you, it's grounding you, it's grounding yourself, your independence, all of this stuff that is shaping up for the new beginnings here in a couple weeks. All right, so Leo, have a fantastic week. Thank you for all of your likes, comments, and shares with these videos. It's been very much appreciated. And I'll see you very soon for the next daily forecast. Virgos, welcome to your weekly forecast. All right, so we have this lunar eclipse coming into the week, and we have a lot of planets in your 12th house. So I think for your sign, it's particularly a spiritual time. Really good for getting your alone time, meditation, anything that helps you connect to your inner beingness, right? And where you can really connect to your soul in such a way, or to life in such a way that you are surrendering. You're letting go of everything outside of your control. And it's through that it's liberating you, it's freeing you up. So this is all the 12th house energy and the lunar eclipse here in your, in this case, in your 5th house coming into the week. Could be specifically involving your self-expression here around Monday. If you feel like there's any security blankets involved with the things you enjoy, you're passionate about, hobbies, interests, anything close to your heart, or maybe fundamentally your self-expression, which is all oriented towards self. All right, this is the 5th house. It's about self. If there's anything there that you're holding on to, that you feel guided to release, let go internally, that could very much free you up coming into this week. I think it's going to happen naturally, but it'll help you align with that. And I think collectively there is this shift anyways of this freer type of energy. But the freer energy here is not only going to, I think, bring more balance back to your self-expression, but it's also going to help you develop more of this spiritual energy, because at the same time on Monday, the sun goes into the 12th. And now this is already where your ruler's been, Mercury, so it's really nothing new. I think it already has been this time of connecting to this beingness. But now the sun's going to illuminate this area. It's going to shine that light in the 12th house into your unconscious, into your spiritual. And the more time you have to meditate or to get your rest or whatever, it's going to help you become more aware of what this means to surrender and let go. And through that, find the peace and tranquility and true happiness in life. You know, this is the part of the chart I believe is the true happiness of beingness, of being present, of accepting, and that bliss that arises from that. So however you're feeling that, though, certainly a shift into that area. Some of you might just be working behind the scenes in general. Some of you might be learning more about psychology, things like that. Yeah, a really good shift to start to focus on these more unconscious, spiritual things in life. Now, midweek, your ruler is going to be sextiled up to Venus, so you have some good positive energy coming into this area and into you in general. You'll probably be feeling good, looking good, or at least there's an opportunity there to connect or enjoy some things midweek. And maybe even to access a bit of your adventurous side and maybe even to your resourceful side. Okay, feeling a bit resourceful, self-reliant. But this is a Venus from your 10th house, so I think there's also some things to enjoy about your career, your productive life at this time. Some of you may be forming some relationships through that area. But whatever it is, yeah, really good to connect to the productive, the achievement, the success, the big picture stuff. Even though it's about peace and connecting to your spiritual side, there's a way to link up that with the bigger picture and anything career related. In fact, you could have a bit of that tranquil energy coming into the career as well. All right, then at that same time, midweek, the sun sextiles Jupiter, giving again positive energy into the 12th house. But this is a Jupiter from your sign, from your 1st house. And so it has been for about the last 9 months, really good for independence, really good for expanding your horizons, tapping into a bit of that adventurousness. So maybe midweek, some of that could be nice. And again, it could be easy going, easing up that 12th house. All right, Friday, Saturday, Venus trines up to Neptune. That's again activating the 10th house of career. Again, something to enjoy there, to connect to, maybe quite easy going with it since Neptune is trining up to that. And it's likely because there's been a lot of uncertainty about your work or career for the past many years. And so now, coming into the weekend, you're likely more willing to go with the flow with it, more willing to surrender, detach with career, with your work, with maybe your finances and resources, maybe with that adventurous spirit to life. And so that eases things, and it could even really support this area, give you some opportunities perhaps with this area, but simply to enjoy and connect to it, see the value of it, that type of thing. Now, Saturday, your ruler goes retrograde. Very important, but nothing out of the ordinary. Happens about 3 times a year. And this is going to be in that 12th house. So Saturday onward, going into next week, always good to be willing to rethink some things. And this is, I think, particularly in the context of your spirituality, right? Of where you can connect to the universe, connect to God, connect to your beingness, so you can surrender, let go of everything outside of your control, right? And when Mercury goes retrograde, it often does involve career for you, so be a good time to rethink, rehash that area. Even though, like I said, there's value here, things you can attract and enjoy about it, but good to rethink that as well. In fact, maybe again, how to link up this more tranquil, peaceful energy into your career. All right, but in either case, the next few weeks, be flexible and adaptive as you're guided to, because likely some new information is coming to light. It could be unconscious information. It could be information through your dreams, through meditation, right? All this type of stuff. And you want to be as flexible as possible so that you can adapt to the changing perspective. Now, Mars is going into the 12th here around Saturday. You'll probably feel this more so going into next week. So where I think it is still a great week to be motivated, maybe to connect with friends or future related things. Some of you are very aspiring right now. When Mars goes into the 12th, it'll be good to, again, put energy into the more receptive things in life. And I like to think of the spiritual warrior with this. You know, Mars is like the warrior. It's active, it's driven. But the 12th house is the spiritual side of it. So like a samurai, for example, or a Jedi, right? Taking action. And, you know, that's what a warrior does, right? Takes action, but in such a way that we're receptive, that we're present, that we're connected. And so that's a great way of getting things done when Mars is in the 12th. It's a great way of aligning with the current to life, to float, to let go. Sometimes we got to float, let go, and then choose to put our energy in the area that is utilizing our energy the most instead of fighting the current. Right, that kind of thing could be very helpful here for you these next couple months with Mars in the 12th. But I think this is all going to be this whole new area. I mean, you're going to be learning so much about it. Mercury retrograde, you got a solar eclipse here in 2 weeks in the 12th, suggesting this whole new beginning of the spiritual development. And a lot of you are really, liberating yourself here spiritually. Now, the sun is trining up to Saturn. And that's going to be topping off the week on Sunday, giving you stability with this area, with the spiritual dimensions. You're likely going to be accepting of it, grounded with it, maybe doing some work with it, like meditation, for example, whatever it is. So good stability there. This is because Mars has been in your third house, helping you take seriously your mind, how you view things, seeing things realistically, but hopefully not too realistically when Mars is in the third. Or some of you are maybe working on writing or reading practical stuff these past couple of years. So continuing to, be patient. I think you're going to be willing to, but continuing to be patient here with the practical learning is a very good supportive energy. And it's where your mind really synergizes now with the 12th house. So I think your mind's going to be willing to surrender, let go, detach. And that could be a very stabilizing force for you. All right, so Virgos, have a fantastic week. Thank you for all of your likes, comments, and shares with these videos. It's been very much appreciated. And I'll see you very soon here in a few days, depending on when you're watching this, for the daily forecast. All right, Virgo, take care. Libra, welcome to your weekly forecast. So let's break this down one day at a time here. You've got this lunar eclipse in your 4th house, which has to do with home, family, and or your health, which is going to be illuminating this area here around Monday. So really good to do a status check with it. And I think particularly a status check with what you can release, what you might be guided to release internally having to do with this area. Because the South Node is kind of showing us where we have this security blanket. And if we let go of the security blanket, it can free us up. And so it's a good time to listen, to be receptive around Monday. But it, again, still is an energizing time because the moon's quite full. But going within, doing this sort of this inner awareness as the moon dims during the full moon, and lets you go within here, and particularly with your past, your soul. This is all 4th house. It's like your family, where you come from, your feelings, your emotions, and it's not even really conscious in terms of what we're letting go of, but it's like just by going through the motions of bringing that attention to the inner world here, it allows this stuff to move and be free and transform. So I think there will be a transformation early this week, and for you, likely involving these personal things in life, your roots, this 4th house stuff. And at the same time, the sun goes into your 11th, which is going to be the area of new beginnings here in a couple of weeks. So the 11th house is where you've already been thinking with Mercury, which is about the future, maybe about your aspirations, maybe about friends and networking and community and that kind of thing. So that's where the sun's going to shift, and you'll likely notice more vigor, more life force to connect to the future in your network circles. And that's going to be laying the foundation for the solar eclipse in that area, the new beginning there in a couple weeks. Now, Wednesday, Thursday, Mercury does sextile up to Venus. So you got some more positive energy midweek into that area. Could even be involving a bit of adventurousness. Venus in your 9th is helping you expand your horizons right now. Some of you might be enjoying some of that adventurousness. Some of you may be enjoying some philosophy or astrology or spirituality. Lots to enjoy there. And midweek could just be emphasizing that a bit. And maybe some easygoing energy as well. In fact, speaking of easygoing, yeah, same time, Jupiter from your 12th aspects the sun, giving some expansion and some perhaps optimism, or maybe even some of you opportunity involving friends, network circles, that type of thing, or your aspirations. But yeah, easygoingness for sure, because Jupiter in the 12th has been expanding this area of tranquility, of relaxing, of surrendering everything outside of your control, to connecting to the spiritual dimensions of life, seeing things like synchronicity, and connecting to your soul, connecting to your unconscious, learning more about yourself in this deeper area. So easy to do that, at least an opening to do that. And again, because you're more willing to go with the flow, you'll likely find some of that easygoingness there. Now, Friday, Saturday, your ruler Venus is going to be trining up to Neptune. So where I think, you're enjoying some of this expansive energy, some of you even too with the sextile to Mercury, enjoying some communicative energy with Venus and Gemini too, social, creative in the sense of like learning, sharing, that type of thing. The trine up to Neptune around Friday gives you some even more easygoingness. Whatever it is, some of you are quite imaginative. Some of you are more accepting in life. I think it'll be specifically around your self-expression. Neptune's been in your 5th. It's been uncertain and maybe foggy about your self-expression the past many years. But now you've got some support here, enjoying some of the things close to your heart, some of the people in your life that are close to your heart. And just simply you, I think, expressing yourself could be quite tranquil, easygoing, having some fun or whatever it is there. All right, and then Saturday we have the Mercury retrograde, and that is going to be in that 11th house. So for the next few weeks, I think it's good to re-examine the friends, the network circles, the future, the progressive stuff in your life, your aspirations. Even though there's new beginnings, certainly it's good to be as flexible as possible. So try new things, be adaptive, and all the stuff you learn these next few weeks about this area, I think will be just more information for you to then implement once Mercury goes direct, and really implement during the solar eclipse here in a couple weeks. Now Mars goes into that 11th house on Saturday. So where I think you have been quite motivated with your career or achievement and success. In fact, a lot of you, even though Mars is in Cancer, likely feeling a bit of invigoration at this time, high energy or motivation and stuff, maybe particularly with the career or achievement. And that's still the case, but on Saturday, Mars will likely be shifting into your 11th, giving you drive and energy into the network circles, into your future aspirations. And so really good to unlock that as you continue to focus and learn about some of that 11th house stuff. Now the weekend, Sunday, with the sun trining up to Saturn, this has been a Saturn helping you discipline your resources these past couple years. If you've been feeling more limitation here with this area, it could be inner resources, your sense of self-worth, self-reliance, but also too with your outer resources such as finances or investments or any of that. But now it's supportive. So you get some support here. Could be some, structure. I think you're just feeling grounded this weekend with that area, which is good. And that's, again, supporting what is this focus on the future, your inspirations, your future hopes and wishes, and anything group related, which is really the key emphasis for you for the next few weeks. All right, so Libra, have a fantastic week. I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, please like, comment, and share it with your friends and family. And I'll see you very soon for the next daily forecast. Scorpio and Ophiuchus, welcome to your weekly forecast. So let's take a look at this lunar eclipse at the beginning of the week in your third house, illuminating the area that has to do with our mind, how we think about things, communication, and anything that does involve that aspect of life, such as reading, writing, or anything you might be involved with, involving the mind or communication, even to siblings or your peers. So this area is getting emphasized, it's getting illuminated for you around Monday, and it's particularly for becoming more aware of your unconscious here. And as you become more aware of that, you'll likely find that there's some energy that wants to be released here, some energy that wants to transform. And so as you align with this inner world that the lunar eclipse gives us, this inner awareness, it'll help you sort of release. And it's just all unconscious with the South Node, and sometimes we could be conscious of it, but it's more of this internal process of feeling and just intuiting what it is that is being released. And I think that's what's going to happen around Mondays, this transition of releasing some past energy, freeing ourselves up a bit, and in this case, enjoying maybe some of these easier aspects we've got collectively. Of course, your personal chart matters most, but this is the collective energy for the week, which could be good to utilize. So around that lunar eclipse on Monday, we have the sun shifting into your 10th house of career, of productive life, of achievement, of success. I think you've already been thinking about your career or whatnot lately, past couple of weeks with Mercury here, but now you get the energy of the sun coming into this area. And it has been quite an adventurous time for you, or a lot of you are very open-minded at this time, free-spirited. You've got your ruler in that 9th house, and we'll be there all week up until Saturday, and then he shifts into your 10th. But you get a lot of this energy now going into the 10th house of career. So good to focus on this all week long. There's a lot to learn about it with Mercury there. Mercury's going to go retrograde there on Saturday. But yeah, it's all laying the foundation for what will be the solar eclipse in the 10th and you beginning with your productive life in a couple weeks. Now here around Wednesday, Thursday, Mercury does sextile up to Venus. So some, again, easier aspects or just opportunities to enjoy some things this week. This could have to do with your career, your productive life, even too of just enjoying the deeper side of life. You know, you've got Venus in your 8th. Venus always shows what we can enjoy. And it even lifts up that area because the 8th house is a deep house, but it's also your house. And Venus is here. So enjoying some of this, whether it's research, uncovering hidden things, enjoying some intimacy in your close relationships, things like this. And so you got some good energy for that. Could be creating a bit of that depth and connection to what matters most in life here midweek. And maybe even too, some of that with the career, some supportive energy there. Now the sun sextiling Jupiter gives you maybe some opportunities with career stuff midweek. It's possible for some of you. And fundamentally, I think just to put some more energy into that area, but also to see potentials with the value you derive from your career or your work. That's been Jupiter in your 11th these past 9 months, helping you see what it is you truly value about your career. And even too, what you can do to connect with network or community or see into the future, you know, tap into that inspiration and hopefulness about your future aspirations. And so it could be some supportive energy for that as well. Maybe some opportunities here to connect to group or something, or maybe some ideas about some future aspirations of yours. Now, Friday, Saturday, Venus trines Neptune. So again, positive energy going into the 8th of depth and openness and intimacy. There could be some easygoingness with home, family, or your health, which has been a muddy area or an area of confusion or doubt these past many years. But now it supports it. So there's some easygoingness with the personal life stuff, and also too with connecting to the deeper dimensions, and even with relationships. In fact, Venus does rule your 7th house. And so easygoingness there, maybe romantic for some of you, but just tapping into that accepting, receptive, unconditional energy in general. Now, Saturday, Mercury goes retrograde in the 10th. So good time to now rethink, rehash some of the career stuff. Good to be as flexible and adaptive as possible for the next few weeks. You're going to learn a lot about this area. A lot of things are going to change with this area. Well, I don't want to blow it out of proportion, but some things are likely going to change because of the information coming to light. So it's good to have plan A, B, C, D, be flexible with it, be adaptive, be willing to learn, maybe be willing to redo some things. It's always great to edit the area that Mercury is going retrograde in. And you'll find that all the stuff you're editing here over the next few weeks is really helping you structure this productive area of life. Now, your ruler, as I said, goes into the 10th on Saturday, so you'll likely find, on one hand, Mars is coming out of Cancer, which, again, is debilitation. So if you have been feeling more of the throttled energy, or it's hard to get the energy or something like that, even though it's the expansive part of the chart for you, the 9th house, he comes out of Cancer, goes into Leo, where he's much better placed. And like I said, you'll likely feel some vigor, some energy, and it'll be good to unlock some of that through your career and productive life, even though you're rehashing it, redoing it. Now, Sunday, the Sun trines Saturn, giving some stability also to the career area, feeling quite grounded in that area, or productive. And this has been a Saturn in your 1st house. Over the past couple of years, you've likely been taking seriously some responsibilities or matters relating to yourself or your independence or your goals. And so now it supports it. Saturn's sort of on your side with this, so to speak, in that you're feeling quite grounded with yourself, with your goals, and also anything career related. All right, so Scorpio and Ophiuchus, have a fantastic week. I hope you found this video helpful. Stay tuned for the daily forecast I'll be making very soon next week. All right, have a good one. Take care. Sagittarius, welcome to your weekly forecast. So we got this lunar eclipse on Monday in your second house of resources. Really good time to do this status check with the inner resources in the sense of your sense of self-worth, self-reliance, your natural gifts, natural abilities, and even the external ones as well, such as finances, investments, savings, things like that. So it's illuminating this area of resource, and it's really good to go within because, of course, the moon is going to be dimmed by the earth, and so it allows us this time to go within, see what is coming up. And with the South Node, it's bringing up some things that we can let go of. And a lot of this is very unconscious, subconscious stuff, but it's a process and aligning to that. Really good for meditation, going within whatever it is, to allow this energy to be free, to come out of our inner being. So this could very well have to do with resources for you. And if there's anything you do feel like there's an attachment or a security blanket that you have regarding resources, and your inner guidance is guiding you to do it, might be a good time to internally release, and through that, feeling freer as a result. In fact, I think this whole transformation taking place on Monday is going to happen very naturally, but maybe some of the stuff I just discussed will help you align with it consciously. Now, on that same day, on Monday, the sun does shift into Leo, which is your 9th house, your house actually, which means that sun's coming out of the 8th. And I think it has been these past even couple months, very deep. A lot of you have gone through some transformations or have been uncovering a lot of deeper things in life, matters relating to like life and death, vulnerability, openness, trust with like relationships or with yourself even. And so that's shifting. And I think along with this lunar eclipse, which is releasing a lot of baggage, it's also expanding you. The sun going into the 9th is helping you now go through this transformation at the early part of the week to expand your horizons, tap into some of that adventurous spirit, to really access you. Because again, it's your house, 9th house, it's what you're about. And so for some of you, it might be quite literally or physically, like travel or adventure, or just laying the foundation for some of these things. But others, it's maybe about philosophy or ideas or university, expanding your mind and potentials to higher things. But fundamentally, I think it's about your beliefs expanding. I think it's about tapping into the adventurous spirit for life, or the spirit for life. And this is laying the foundation for what will be the new beginnings in this area here in a couple weeks with the solar eclipse in your 9th. In a couple weeks. So here midweek, we've also got some other things. Mercury sextiling up to Venus. So you got some positive energy going into this 9th house of expansion. Also maybe too enjoying some relationships or some career things. In fact, Jupiter's in your 10th, sextiling the sun midweek. So there could be some career opportunities for some of you. Depends on your personal chart, but at the very least, being hopeful about it, inspired about productive stuff, which is good. And again, going into the 9th house of expanding your beliefs and that optimism and that bigger picture for life and relationships. Venus in the 7th house, even aspecting Mercury for you, just suggests maybe an opening here of enjoying relationships or a relationship or something like that. And that's kind of already been the case with Venus in your 7th, and will be the case pretty much all week, to see the value of your relationships and enjoy this area. But midweek with the aspects could be activating that. Now, Friday, Saturday, Venus trines up to Neptune, giving you more support here with those one-to-one connections. Maybe a bit of easygoingness there, a bit of romantic energy for some of you, or just more acceptance and unconditionality in your relationships. And even, too, in regards to learning or communication, learning from others, sharing of ideas, communication, all of this, very receptive. And some of you, too, maybe just deciding that you're really more willing to let go of the mind, just more present. When Neptune's in the 3rd, that's really what the lessons have been for the past many years, is how to be more present with the mind, surrender the mind, the mental noise, and all of this to really help access the true peace and tranquility and bliss in every now moment. Now, Mercury is going retrograde in this 9th house, so for the next few weeks, even though you get all this energy shifting into this expansion, this life path, there's some things to reconsider, redo, rework. And so aligning with that possibly, you might be guided to here around Friday, Saturday, as things sort of slow down, does make it a really good next few weeks to edit this area. Reconsider this ninth house stuff, travel, adventure, long distance matters, university studies, your perspective on things, your beliefs, your religion perhaps, your spirituality. These are all ninth house. And so the more flexible you are with it, the more you're willing to learn about this area of life, it's going to help you align to what is this new information coming in. And as the new information comes in, the more flexible you are, it helps you adapt and change to the incoming insight. Now, Mars is then going to leave your 8th, so it is still kind of on the deeper side. It's, as I said, it's happening in steps. But, yeah, especially around Saturday, Mars will leave your 8th. Now, Mars actually does like to be in the 8th, even though he's in Cancer in your 8th. He does like it. So it's still a great week up until Saturday to, like, dive deep in general. Some of you are researching. Some of you are connecting to the vulnerable side to life, open, intimacy, passion even. But once Mars goes into your 9th, especially you'll feel this next week, now there'll be more drive and energy to, again, expand those horizons. And again, that's going to be laying the framework for the new beginnings with the solar eclipse. But here it's giving you drive. It's giving you this energy behind it and directness and feeling like you want to perhaps move forward in some level with that area, which I think is great so long as, again, you're flexible with it with that Mercury retrograde. Now, the Sun trines Saturn on Sunday, the last aspect of the week, which is stabilizing all of us. And for you, it's stabilizing the 9th house. So you can be quite grounded. Even though this is the area of expansion, it's very fiery, there's nice earth energy stabilizing you, helping you stay grounded with it, which is great. And even, too, an excellent weekend for meditation or getting some rest and relaxation, since Saturn's been helping you really take seriously tranquility in your life and rest and your spirituality, which with the trine could help you. You'll be willing to do that, and it'll be easier to do that. All right, so Sagittarius, have a fantastic week. I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, please like, comment, and share down below, and share it with your friends and family as well. But wishing you the very best week, and I'll see you very soon for the next daily forecast. Capricorn, welcome to your weekly forecast. So a big week for your sign. You've got this lunar eclipse in your sign on Monday in your first house here. So I think a lot of you are releasing some things having to do with yourself, your self-image, maybe regarding your independence, maybe regarding your personal needs. You know, there's nothing wrong in life to have independence and to be clear on who we are and what we want. But sometimes, and I'm not saying this is necessarily the case for you, but if anything like this comes up, being aware of the fact that sometimes there is this over extreme with a security blanket of holding on too tight to ourself or to our independence. And so if you're feeling anything on that level, which is all first house type of stuff, it is an excellent first part of the week, especially around Monday, to just become more aware of this. And I think the energy is naturally being released as we bring more conscious light to what this lunar eclipse is illuminating. And it's illuminating within, right? So it's illuminating within you, who you are, what you want, your independence. And if there's anything that you might be holding on to tightly here, as you then become aware of, will naturally be released. And you can even loosen up that grip, which will allow it to transform and change as well. So it's going to be a transformation, I think, particularly for your sign, but as a result, a transformation of you, right? You moving now along the life journey of letting some things go, some burdens or some limitations or something like that, having to do with that identity. And that's going to free you up to continue this life journey. And where the life journey is really pointing at is in the 8th house. And this is the house of getting vulnerable, getting deep, getting real, raw in life in general. And it's involving a lot of areas for you. It's in relationships. It's maybe with your career. Maybe it's with your home and family life. So the purpose of this is to really connect to what matters most and really see the truth and express the truth. All right, that's the 8th house. And so I think you've already been doing that because you've had Mercury transiting your 8th house, or at least you've been thinking in these terms. Some of you maybe researching some things that are usually hidden, deep diving with the mind, whether it's about yourself, whether it's about life in general. Some of you too, understanding more about the importance of interdependency, that we all do rely on others from time to time, and that's okay. But this is all 8th house, and where the sun is going to be shifting on Monday. So with that transformation, there's also the shift of focus where it's going to be on this, again, what matters most, and connecting to this truth of life. So that can invigorate you. This is actually going to be illuminating this area, all of this deep stuff, and even your fears and stuff, so you can transform, because that's what the 8th house is about. And the solar eclipse in a couple weeks is going to help you do that. Again, transform, to go off in a new life path direction involving the truth. And this week's setting the foundation. So with the sun shifting in there, illuminating all the stuff that is usually hidden in life, whether it's about ourselves, about life in general, or even relationships in terms of connecting to them in that open and vulnerable way. So midweek, Wednesday, Thursday, Mercury does sextile up to Venus from the 8th house. So it's a lot of supportive energy this week. I think you'll find it probably quite easy to connect on this deeper level, so to speak. And this is a Venus in your 6th. A lot of you are likely enjoying your day-to-day routine right now, or can be. You're seeing the value there. Some of you maybe even forming some relationships through your work or your day-to-day, which is nice. So that could be activated midweek. And the sun is going to be sextiling up to Jupiter at the same time. And this is the fact that Jupiter has been helping you see potentials and opportunities with expanding your horizons. Some of you might have opportunities to travel or connect abroad. Some of you maybe with philosophy or higher learning or university or something like that. But whatever it is, it's expanding your potentials, your mind, your possibilities. And so I think you're going to be feeling quite open-minded, quite expansive, quite free-spirited. At least it's available. And so I think it's certainly about you connecting that spirit for life in the way that is, again, connected to what matters most. Now, Friday, Saturday, Venus trines up to Neptune from the 6th, so you'll have some easygoingness, maybe with some of that work and routine, maybe with your self-expression, in fact. And this is a Neptune in your 2nd that's been really clouding the area of resources for you, such as finances and things like this. But that's going to lift up in many ways, because when Neptune's in a positive aspect, it lifts it up. So I think you'll be very easygoing and really seeing the serendipity of the resource sector, because everything does, of course, come in divine timing, and it's about having faith and trust in the universal process, or in God, or the universe, however you see that. And so I think you're seeing that in your own way, of course, but willing to go with the flow, willing to be receptive when it comes to resources, when it comes to your work, when it comes to your self-expression. Now, Saturday, Mercury is going to go retrograde in that 8th house. So there's going to be a lot to learn these next few weeks about all this 8th house stuff. It's time to lift up that rug, right? Be aware of all that stuff that we've brushed under the rug before, and and examine it, learn about it, right? So anything you can do to edit or redo or rethink involving depth, vulnerability, openness, and even shared resources as well, or anything involving others' resources such as inheritances, or even debts too. Some of you could be reworking, rethinking those types of matters, and it'll be great to do that. So be flexible, be adaptive, learn for the next few weeks. And I think all the information you do gather and learn about, it's certainly benefiting you in this area. Now, Mars is going into the 8th on Saturday, so I think all week long you'll still have a lot of directness with your relationships, maybe even motivation and drive here. which has been Mars in the 7th, but he's going to be going into the 8th, which he actually likes to be in the 8th, and in Leo for that matter. It's his house. So I think you'll be willing, I think especially next week, to pierce the veil, put some of that energy into the truth, the, what matters most, and all the stuff that's usually hidden that you're going to be connecting to. And that could be the source of energy and motivation. It could also be a very passionate area as well. Passion of connecting to that deep, real, raw stuff of life. Now, Sunday, the sun does trine up to your ruler Saturn. So I think this weekend, you're probably feeling quite expressive. Maybe in that open way of the 8th house. And that's continuing to support what has been this building of your aspirations. These past couple of years, your ruler in the 11th is helping you build the long-term aspirations in your life. And even some of you too, maybe your networks, your friends, or your community. So with that being your attention generally with your ruler, you'll just notice some maybe positive energy, some awareness, some focus supporting you in that area as well. All right, so Capricorn, have a fantastic week. I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, please like, comment, and share it with your friends and family. But I'm wishing you the very best week, and I'll see you very soon for the next forecast. Take care. Aquarius, welcome to your weekly forecast. So let's break this down one by one. We have the lunar eclipse in your 12th house on Monday. So this is the house of spirituality. It's the house of coming full circle back around the chart to the ending of the chart, where we surrender, we let go, and perhaps have more faith and trust by that surrendering process. So it's not going to be activated that long, but I think it's an important area, specifically around Monday, to get connected to. Get connected to your beingness, maybe through meditation or rest or spiritual activities or whatever it is you do to help you connect to your beingness. And there's something dimming, right? The moon's going to be dimming. It's helping you go within to see what could be released with this area. So some examples when the South Node's in the 12th, it could be anything that you're holding onto as a security blanket involving the 12th, which might be hiding away or imaginations, or when the mind wanders and creates dreams and stuff. There's nothing wrong with dreams, but if it's ever, it's just recognizing it as such. And anything that's about retreating in your life in general or escaping anything, if anything like that does come up, it's good to simply be aware of it, because it's through that awareness these things naturally want to be released. And I think that's what's happening, is this releasing of everything that, or maybe one thing that is unhealthy involving the 12th, that is then going to transform you and shift you along the life journey. And the area that this is very much relating to is relationships. And this is where the North Node's been. It's where Mercury's been these past couple weeks. So you're likely already thinking in these terms of your relationships in life. But it's where the sun's going to shift very early this week. So it's all laying the foundation for the relationship sector, which will have, I think, a life path shift in a couple weeks with the solar eclipse. But now this week, just focusing on it, right? Shifting your attention on them. Might be one relationship, might be relationships in general. It might be just relating with others, how you can give and take, be cooperative, right? Work with others, mutuality, that kind of thing. But it's going to invigorate you, and that's where the energy is. That's where the focus is shifting on Monday. Now, midweek, Wednesday, Thursday, Mercury sextiles Venus. So it's a sort of reminder that it's been a great time to enjoy your self-expression or hobbies, creative pursuits, enjoying things that are close to your heart or people that are close to your heart at this time. And you've got some positive support for that. Anything involving that self-expression could be enjoyable. And that's supporting the relationships midweek. Because like I said, your mind's here, Mercury's here, and so now you get that dose of Venus with those one-to-one connections as well. Now, midweek, also the Sun trines Jupiter, or excuse me, sextiles Jupiter. And so this is that midweek you could be quite open, vulnerable, willing to share with others on a deep level, or maybe involving resources, shared resources as well, possibly. Maybe some opportunities there. So whatever it is, again, it's strengthening your relationships. It's helping you see the big picture with them, and maybe helping you see some opportunities about what matters most in life. Now, Friday, Saturday, Venus trines up to Neptune. So again, more positive support into the self-expression, maybe even an easygoingness with your home or your health this week, which could be nice, and maybe even a bit of adventurousness. You're more willing to go with the flow along the life path. Venus rules your 9th house. And this is because Neptune's been in your first these past many years, that may have been creating a bit of uncertainty or doubt about who you are, where you're going, what are your goals and all of this. But now you're seeing the serendipity with that this later part of the week, seeing how things do happen in divine timing, and that we're so much more than any label or context we could even understand about our true selves. Saturday, Mercury goes retrograde in that 7th house. A lot to learn about relationships for these next few weeks. Very good to be adaptive. Even though, like I said, there's new beginnings and things are shaping up here, with the retrograde, you want to be as flexible and adaptive as possible. Have a plan A, B, C, and D, so to speak. And that's because new information is going to be coming to light at this time. And with that new information, you're going to want to shift and adjust. So flexibility is the name of the game. Around Saturday, you may start to feel that energy slowing down, about rethinking this area, reconsidering it. I think it's great to continue to implement it, but just with that open mind and flexibility. Mars goes in there Saturday into your 7th. So for the next couple of months, I think there's going to be a lot of drive, motivation on your one-on-one connections. You might even be very direct in your relationships as well. Some of you may be taking on a more leadership type of role, perhaps, in them. And then the last aspect of the week, on Sunday, the Sun does trine up to Saturn, giving you stability with your relationships, structure, groundedness, stableness, and also, too, maybe even supporting some of the career stuff, because the career stuff has been maybe more of the area of limitation or patience or hard work these past couple of years. And so now you got some positive support there to help you continue to stabilize and build your productive area as well. All right, so Aquarius, that's the week in a nutshell. Hope you found this video helpful. If you did, please like, comment, and share it with your friends and family. And I'll see you very soon here for the next forecast next week. Take care. Pisces, welcome to your weekly forecast. So let's break down this week one by one. On Monday, we've got the lunar eclipse. It's in your 11th house of your aspirations and also the house of your network circles. So this area is being illuminated, but it's being illuminated on an internal level. Anything that you do become aware of at this time, it might be a good idea to release if you're guided to allow to let go, because the South Node does have to do with the past energy, sometimes past in this life, past in past life. And so it's all happening internal. And that's what happens first anyways, right? As we do the internal releasing, then naturally the external releasing or whatever happens more naturally. So good to allow that moon to dim, to go within here on Monday, see what is being released. And I think regardless, there is a transition. I think regardless, there's a transformation of letting some things go, taking some burdens off to free us up. Regarding perhaps that area. So if there's anything you're attached to, like a security blanket or something you're holding on to tightly involving the future, involving the world maybe it's your aspirations, hopes and wishes, that through that it's preventing you from moving and growing and developing, listen to your inner guidance, but it might be something to release internally. Now that transition is also bringing about the sun shifting into your 6th house of work and day-to-day activities, where I think has already been where your mind's been. Mercury's been in your 6th, so you've likely already been thinking in these day-to-day terms. But now the sun invigorating you for about the next month and a half, giving you life force, vigor, energy when it comes to your work, your routine, maybe your health, your diet, your regimens, things like this. And this is the area of the life path. That's where the North Node is and where the next solar eclipse will be here in a couple of weeks. So it's laying the foundation for that this week, and I think you'll notice that shift going more so into that area early on. Now, Wednesday, Thursday, Mercury sextiles up to Venus, so you'll have more, at least an opportunity, at least some positive energy going into this area of your work and day-to-day, but also maybe even too enjoying some home life, family life. You're going to have Venus from the 4th, sextiling Mercury. Even Jupiter is in the 7th house here, maybe with relationships, enjoying some one-to-one connections there. But anyways, with Venus enjoying some of the private life, right? Maybe spending some time at home, maybe some time with family, feeling like you can enjoy. Maybe you're feeling in good health even too, which could be good. And yeah, that's going to be a nice just sort of opening to connect to on that level. Same with relationships, one-to-one connections. Jupiter's expanding that sun midweek. And could be some sort of connection there or just easygoingness or something like that. And it could be through the work. Again, the work is kind of the pivotal point here, the structure. Whatever you're doing on a day-to-day level, you've got some good support with that. Now, Friday, Saturday, Venus trines up to Neptune, so more support here going into the home, family, or health area. Maybe just easy going with it. And this is a Neptune in your 12th, where it's been helping you really connect to your beingness. And so I think it is going to be particularly an easygoing sort of time. And since Neptune is your modern day ruler, Venus trining Neptune does give you maybe a bit of feeling good, looking good, connectivity, enjoyment, maybe enjoying some communication, some sharing of ideas, sharing of emotion, of that type of deep connection. So whatever it is, it's easygoing, it's enjoyable, it's tranquil, and it could be involving those key areas. Now, Saturday, Mercury does go retrograde in that 6th house. So even though, as I said, this is the area of new beginnings for you and where things have been shaping up, Mercury retrograde suggests for the next few weeks, Saturday onward, really good to re-examine this area. Be as flexible and adaptive as possible because likely new information is coming to light during the retrograde. But by all means, implement it, move it forward, work, routine, whatever it is. Just have like a plan A, B, C, and D because likely new information comes to light, and we want to be as flexible, along the life journey because the new information can maybe want us to change things, right? As we learn more or something, we usually want to shift direction. Now, Mars is going to go into that 6th house here on Saturday when Mercury goes retrograde. So he'll be coming out of your 5th. So I still think all week up until around Saturday going into next week, really good for that direct self-expression that I think a lot of you have been developing. Very direct with not only you expressing yourself, maybe some of you hobbies, interests, some motivation, some drives there, this type of thing, or enjoying the things and people that are close to our heart, right? The motivation with that. But Saturday, that Mars goes into your 6th, so the energy will likely be going into your work and your routine as well, which you'll already have because the sun will be there invigorating it. But the Mars is specifically the action steps, the drive. And for the next couple months, it'll be great for you to really cultivate your work or routine, your personal growth, personal development, all of the stuff which is helping you really improve and help others improve and all that type of good stuff. Sunday, the last aspect, the sun does trine up to Saturn, so more stability with 6th house. Can be quite stable with the routine, with the personal development, with the work perhaps. And this is a Saturn that's been really helping you take seriously your life path or your adventurous side, your spirit for life in such a way that you're grounded with it, and even helping you ground your belief systems, saying that it's important to expand our horizons but stay grounded at the same time. So you're willing to do that, I think, this weekend. Maybe you will be tapping into some of that adventurous spirit or opening your mind to some potentials or philosophies or learning or something like that. And that could be a very strong stabilizing force for you. All right, so Pisces, have an excellent week. I want to thank you all very much for all of your likes, comments, and shares with these videos. And yeah, I'll see you very soon next week for the next daily forecast. Have a good one. Take care.